The following program was recorded earlier in the day for presentation at this time.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Just fine.
Let's have a late night conversation. How's my hair?
It looks great.
What clothes should I wear?
What you got on is fine.
Let's have a late night conversation.
And now, here's one of the hosts of A Late Night Conversation, Jacob Pyle.
Thank you, Jeff Jeffries, very kindly. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to A Late Night Conversation for the Saturday night, Sunday morning, June 13th, 2026. My name is Jacob Pyle, coming to you from my home in Kokomo, Indiana tonight. Taryn Ray Smith has the night off. Normally, how this works is we do an unscripted conversation for 30 minutes each week, with Taryn having no idea as to what we will be talking about each week. Instead, for our program tonight, we are going to show a recent conversation I conducted with Kokomo's very own Batman, Kory Kennedy, and we'll have that for you shortly. It was a very eventful past few days. If you are watching this right now, wondering what's going on, there was this terrible storm, I guess you could say, that swept through Kokomo on Thursday night. According to the National Weather Service, there was straight line wind damage between 80 and 90 miles per hour, but no tornado touchdown. Someone commented explaining why that was the case when there was a tornado in sight, and I guess someone else hit it right in the head. It's only a tornado when it touches the ground. So in other words, it's more of a funnel cloud and not a tornado. I was at work that Thursday night, and we were all kind of watching it unfold from outside. Don't ever, by the way, don't ever attempt to do this. But by that point, the storm was like more towards, the outer edge of town, I guess you could say. Anyway, it was the funnel cloud, just seeing it, it was really cool. And then it was crazy. I had a friend of mine take me home from work last night because my car insurance lapsed on my car. And as we were driving through town, and what was crazy was there was like police cars in the middle of the intersection. There was parts of town. There was no traffic signals and everything like that. It was just a terrible sight all around, if that makes sense to you. In the few days, at least from my understanding, I may be wrong, I don't know. This is when the whole city comes together and helps out, because that's what a community does. They went through. There was a lot of tree damage, a lot of power outages reported, and I think from my understanding, they pretty much got all that fixed. I have to thank all the men and women, the electricians, to the guys that are out cleaning up the storm damage for everything you're doing. While I am on the subject of people cleaning up storm damage, an old friend of mine who I graduated with from school owns a local tree service here in Kokomo, Timber Pros Tree Service. They've been out and about doing things ranging from removing a customer's tree from the roof or of their house to cleaning up storm damage in various areas. Incidentally, if you would like a free estimate, call Timber Pros Tree Service. Their number is 765-438-3021. And they do residential and commercial. They are fully insured, and they serve Kokomo and the surrounding central Indiana area. If you are watching this tonight and there's storm damage still in your area, please leave a comment below this video and let me know, because I'm just curious. And as a reminder, do not attempt to pick up down power lines or down trees that are tangled in power lines. I think it's said on Facebook too, treat every power line as it was live. and just leave that to a professional, because the two things that do not mix is water and electricity. And if you try to touch a down power line, chances are it'll shock you so bad you'll die, literally. But going back to what I was saying, though, when I got home from work Thursday night, we get to Dixon Road. Like, we were driving through this mess through downtown Kokomo, but you get to Dixon Road, all the lights and stuff were working. And then when I got home, I was lucky to find the lights and everything was still in working order, no apparent damage to be found. But a lot of people were way worse off than I was. A coworker of mine, for example, didn't get her power on until 3:30 the following Friday morning. Another person didn't get hers turned on until about 9 o'clock that Friday night. So all around, it's been a hectic week for everybody, I guess you can say. And the reason we didn't have a show last week was because I was dealing with a lot of other stuff as well. My shower was not working, one. Two, my car insurance is up, like I mentioned, so I couldn't really drive anywhere, like, outside of... Well, you really shouldn't be driving anywhere if you don't have driver's insurance, but I've been driving to like if I'm just going to make I live near like grocery stores and stuff, so if it's just a quick trip to the grocery store, I'll drive there. If it's a quick trip to, like, say, Walgreens, I'll drive there. But anything else outside of that, I have not been able to drive around much, other than to work and back. So but the good news is I'm happy to report that my shower is in working order again, and as of the date we're taping this, we are in the process of getting my car's insurance reinstated through another insurance company. So all is good. So with all that being said, I guess let's get to my guest for tonight. My guest for about 11 years now has been running around the streets of Kokomo dressed as Batman, and the guy is a really nice guy. He was very friendly when we taped this. What I did not know, though, until the day we taped the episode, was that the man behind the costume may not look like your average superhero, but there was one true hero that was with him every step in his life, and he uses this opportunity to share with everybody who the real true hero is. You will see what I mean as we present my conversation with Kory Kennedy. My guest for tonight is a former Northwestern Senior High School graduate. That may not sound like much, but what if I told you that this guy might be famously known to the citizens of Kokomo and Howard County in general as the guy running around the streets of Kokomo dressed as Batman? Please welcome to the Jacob Pilot Show, Kokomo's very own Batman himself, unmasked, Kory Kennedy.
Howdy, howdy, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
I see you out running all over Kokomo all the time. Someone was asking me in my other work one day if I still play the game tag. And I told them I can't run as fast as I used to anymore. I'd be probably a mile in or not even that close to it, and I would be out of breath. How do you do it?
Oh, I've been trained in running for so long. It's been ever since 2003 that I can think of in middle school. And then as time went on and got better at it, then that's when I've been talked into doing road races. There's been a couple Paralympic trials I've tried, which is ones in, I think, if I'm saying this correctly, 2005, I think. I'll have to look back. And another one was in, I'm thinking 2012. So it was worth a shot doing it. I never made the Paralympics, but just continued forward. And I give very good credits to all the coaches I've had throughout middle school, throughout high school, and even afterwards. And also to my family and to my friends. And first and foremost, also to Jesus Christ our Lord. I give him full credit all the time, and on how much he's given me, and even through the disabilities I went through over 27 and a half years ago, So as of being trained into running on the starts, on the how to accelerate the pace, get negative splits and all this, and also to get PRs and break records too. So it takes a lot of guts to do this on cross country and track, but I'm really thankful for what I have, and I'm just now continuing forward, even though I'm getting slower. I'm continuing forward on where I'm at now. So,
Cool.
yeah.
I think we should, for those who don't know you, I guess we better tell you. I guess I better let you tell the folks at home something about yourself.
Yeah. So on how this went was that I'm gonna go clear back to like 27.5 years ago, was when I was just only 8 years old, and so there's no one's fault at all. It was all an accident, and so my dad and my brother, sister, my older brother, younger sister, and I were on our way home from first picking us two boys up and then picking her up. And then he didn't see the stop sign coming. It was an accident, complete accident. It was probably because of the sun that hit his eyes all of a sudden. Maybe it was the stop sign that was blocked by the cornfield. And there's another guy that had the free getaway, had to have the stop sign. We had the stop sign, and then that's when two of us cars got T-boned.
Oh wow!
And then right when that happened was when my sisters and my head got hit, and she, that I know of, had concussion. She was only in the hospital for 5 days that I know of. Me, on the other hand, is what may have caused the right eye to be completely blind. And then partial of the left eye was partially impaired there, and then there's also a little blind dot in the middle there. So that's of what I know of there. And when it comes to the van, doing all these like spins, flips, all this stuff, that's when my arm got cut from like the elbow to the armpit, clean to the bone after it flew out the window. And then once it landed on the telephone pole, just like catty corner from there. Then that's when my head also hit the telephone pole and scattered all of the skull and cheekbones. And but if that didn't happen, I probably would have been gone. It's on how bad the TBI was.
Yeah, you're lucky.
And thank you. And then out of all the 6 victims, there's 4 of us there. There's 2 of them there. I was like the worst of it. And then there's like 2 witnesses. I think it may have been behind us. I think. That came to get me out first, and then had to, make sure I wasn't okay, like that, okay, but just get me out first, get part of my sister out, the rest out, whatever order it was, otherwise, and then ambulance came and took us to St. Joe first, but then they lifelined my sister and me down to the Methodist Hospital in Indy. So they took care of my sister in her own ballpark. They took care of me by what they did here. And actually, before I go any further, my dad was in a rush down there once he heard, once all my family heard. He was rushing down to Methodist, and then once he got to the ER, and then that's when he runs up to the doctor. He goes, "Is my son okay? Is he all right? Is anything going on or anything?" That's when the doctor said, "I'm sorry, I'm afraid he's going to have to lose his arm." And so right when he just heard that, and he shed all the tears out. I mean, he didn't want anything like this to happen, Right. And so once he heard it, then they were doing that. There's another thing I also like to share too, real quick.
Sure.
Before I go on to how they got me fixed. So right when the wreck happened was when I just all of a sudden saw like solid color. It may have been very, very light gray color or something, like a tube shape, like solid color. So then just before me came brightness, like it was getting brighter, and came up towards me. That was Jesus Christ coming right up towards me. He opened his arms out. He said, "You will still be alive. It's not time for you to come up here yet." I said, I come up to him. I was only 8, and this is just 2 years after I got baptized. I go, why is it not time for me to come up here yet? And he says, "Because I got plans for you." And so,
Right.
And so where I'm at now, this could be one of the plans that he has for me to make a difference and such.
Yeah.
And so anyway, was continuing on from there on the getting me all fixed up from head to toe. So what they did, I don't know, I'm sure you can probably see the scar from here over to here, unless it kind of got covered by there more. That's where they had to open that up. And then just get all the skull and cheekbones out. That was all scattered, and all the skull and cheekbones got reconstructed out of steel plates and 8 to 9 screws. Got me stitched back up or stapled back up. And then what they did here on this part here, see if I can pull it up a bit more though.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, like right in that area right there.
Yeah.
There's more along here though. What they did here was that, since it was just hanging by a thread, they took the ab muscles out and then put it in this arm. What they also did on the front 2 lap legs and also the back of the left leg, they did skin graft as well. And then right here of that, look, it's kind of like a narrow S-shaped scar. Yeah. Along the left thigh and the left calf muscle from like the back of the knee down to the ankle is where they took the artery veins out and put it here. So that way I can be able to use the left hand more, because otherwise it would have been like this. So, and this really amazes me too, because I've heard this before several times. After when everybody was in the room that I was in, and the doctor took the tube out, then everybody was just right there, seeing if I could say a word after doctor asked me something. So doctor says, "Kory, do you happen to know how old you are today?" And I didn't even know this happened until someone told me about it. I go like this, I go, "I'm only 8.5 years old." And this is when my eyes were closed though and such, and then everybody was just amazed by it. I mean, they cried in a proud way. They didn't think that I would know how bad the brain damage was or something.
Right.
And I was like thinking, wow, I'm going, God is good all the time here on giving gifts to people even that have disabilities, that have, certain maybe mentalities or something, but regardless on what happens, God is good all the time. So,
Yes,
I'm really thankful still to be here, regardless on how much I've been through. So I'm thankful to be here.
When I first moved to Kokomo back in 2016, I was out running errands, and when I mean running errands, I was actually meaning walking errands, right. Because I live pretty, like I was telling you before we taped this today, I live pretty close to the area of Sycamore and Dixon, and a lot of the essential stuff I can easily walk to without the need of driving a car is literally right there. And one day, I was walking my errands and I see someone running as Batman, and I had to take a double look, and I was like, am I seeing things? And then I went to the bank one day and they mentioned that they saw Batman too, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not. How did this whole Batman thing get its start?
So, other than when I was a young kid, I don't even remember if it's age like 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, but somewhere around there. For Halloween I was dressed up as Batman when the rest were dressed up as whatever. Mm-hmm. And then same goes it probably was the following year as well, but then I was just starting to get into Batman over and over again. You had Batman toys, having like Batmobiles, Batman airplanes, and all this stuff. And then as I got older, then it came to about like 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. So I was running in these races for Club Kokomo Roadrunners, as I do these days, ever since then. And there's this one friend of mine that I used to see dressed up as Wonder Woman, and then these days she wears like a kind of like a green cape of some sort or something. And then I was looking at her and I'm like thinking, so if she's able to dress up as a superhero from like DC Comic, then what's wrong with me dressed up as Batman as the same way? So when it came to years down the line in like late 2016, on Christmas, that's when in Christmas time I was thinking, you know what, I better try to get a mask, maybe a couple masks or so, and then just start with the mask to wear while running. Then since my birthday's like less than 2 months away, which is, they're already past it though, then I I could go with the shirt next and then just continue off from there, see what people think. So that's what I did, was start the mask run for less than 2 months, and then go with the shirt, like the long sleeve silky shirt, that's Batman, and then do that same thing. And then as time went on, I continued to add on with the cape, and then the gloves, and then gauntlet gloves. So this was starting to catch people's attention at a point, and I remember someone actually posted a picture of me when I was running down Witherspoon Drive, getting ready to pass Dollar General, and posted, "Hey, I saw Batman here," or something like that. And then there's more people making more posts, making more good comments and such, and this is catching people's attention more and more. So, very first birthday party I attended to, they really thought, "Hey, why don't we have Batman come by, for my 5-year-old son?" And so they got hold of me, and I said, "Yeah, I'm more willing to come by and such." So they go, "How much do you charge?" I said, "I don't expect any money. I really don't." And even still to this day, I don't expect to be paid anything, or I don't expect anything back in return or anything, It's just a living to make a difference, So I show up, but then before I took off to there, I found this one card of Val Kilmer that played 1995 film Batman Forever. It's one of my most favorite films. And then I was like thinking, why do I need this anymore? Because I've had about the same age as he was, I was that age at that time. So I'd come by, and then in this small little house, like full of people, and then I see a little kid right there, he's going like that. He's like looking up, and I go, "Hi," and then everybody goes, you see Batman? You go like that or something, and all this. I just knelt down and gave him the card, and I told him, I said, "I want you to have this because I had this when I was your age. I want you to remember who you got to see today." And then he just slowly gave me like a really nice hug to me and such. I heard everybody go like, "Oh," like that and such. So ever since then, there's been there may have been over 20 birthday parties I attended to. And like I said, I never even insisted on charging anybody any money. And then some people really insisted on giving me money. This one part wasn't even a birthday party. I was on vacation at Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, just riding bike as Batman and going all out and about. And then these older people just pulled me over, a few older people, and I'm just having this group come up, and such while I'm right there. So there's a little girl that brought me like sandwich bag of seashells. And she goes, "I want you to have this." I said, "Okay." So I put it in my pocket. I said, "Thank you." I put it in my pocket, and then she goes back over, she comes back. She goes, "I want to give this to you in gratitude on how much a difference you're making." It was not a $10 bill. It was a $100 bill. And then right when I looked at it, I go like that. And I started getting emotional. I thought, I'll be over there in just a sec. And then I finished talking with them. I go over there. And then I said, "You don't need to give me a $100 bill. It's okay." And then that's when they said, "It's fine. You deserve having this here." And then they continued on to show the appreciation of this. And then that's when it really hit me at that point. And I think this was back in 2021, I think. And I told them how much, I've been through, but I'm really thankful for this. So I don't expect money, as I've told them before and such. And then I love doing this to make a difference for people, not through my will, but through God's will. And people have gone through tough situations, hard times, they've gone through family loss, job loss, so many things, but it's always worth it on making people happy and to brighten their day more. And so this is why I'm here to do this to this day.
A question I was originally going to ask you when we plan on taping this today was, you've read superhero comic books and stuff like that. Do you have a superhero of your own? I guess the superhero of the day is Jesus.
Yes,
honestly.
Yes, and Jesus is the true hero. Even though I've been, and I was unexpectedly nominated for Best Local Hero and won it though, but I claim today and forever that Jesus Christ is the true hero. And why I say that is because how am I the true hero anyway? Because I'm not the one that saved so many lives and all this, but Jesus has lived a perfect life, has been doing all the teachings and healings, and has been on the cross, died on the cross for our sins, had the perfect death there.
Uh-huh.
And he has defeated death and rose from the dead there, and he is alive still to this day.
Yes.
And he is the only way to make it to heaven. He is the way and the truth and the life.
Amen.
And no one comes to the Father except through him. That's what it says in John 14:6. And also probably my most favorite Bible verse, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life.
Okay.
So,
All right. We have a minute left.
yes.
Okay, so the moment we've been waiting for, go ahead and put that mask on and show us Kory Kennedy as Batman.
Yeah, if I can, I hope I can get this on really quick. One of the hardest masks to put on.
There you go. There he is, Kokomo's very own Batman.
Here I am.
Yeah, I would offer to be a Robin, but I cannot. Like I said, I cannot run for the life of me.
Well, you could ride bike though.
Or walk.
or walk either way. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it was that was the most moving story. I think of all the guests we've ever featured on the Jacob Pyle Show, I think your story, and it was an amazing story, and we hope you can maybe come back on a future show and we'll talk some more. I think it was an amazing conversation.
Yes, definitely. I look forward to it. Yes.
You're welcome. That's our program for tonight. Next week on our show, Taryn Rice Smith and I will present a pilot I taped for a show featuring 3 different guests. We hope you can join us for that. Until then, I'm Jacob Pyle, and as we always say around here, if you hear someone snapping their fingers in the middle of a Saturday night, don't worry, we're just snapping our fingers to the beat of another late night conversation. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe, and goodbye, everybody.
Dooby doo ah, dooby dooby doo ah, dooby dooby doo.
If you'd like to join us for one of our late morning, early afternoon tapings of A Late Night Conversation, or if you were ordering a DVD copy of tonight's program, send Jacob an email. His email address is jtpile1@aol.com. Or if you're ordering a DVD copy of tonight's program, send $10 check or money order to A Late Night Conversation, care of Pyle Media Ventures, Post Office Box 130, Oakford, Indiana 46965. Please include the air date seen on the screen when ordering. Residents outside of Indiana and Kansas will pay $5 shipping and handling. Sorry, no CODs. The preceding program was recorded earlier in the day for presentation at this time. I'm your very tired announcer, Jeff Jeffries. Good night.
I gotta go.
Why so soon?
It's the end of the show.
Oh, now I know.
This has been a late night conversation. Don't freak.
Why not?
Oh, I'll be back next week
And so will I.
for another late night conversation.
Excuse me.
Yes, Jacob?
How do you know my name, if you don't mind my asking?
I watch your podcasts on YouTube all the time. I'm a huge fan.
I'm glad you love my podcasts.
What was the other question you wanted to ask me?
My other question is, what's your name?
My name? I'm Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I always enjoy doing these conversations with you. 1, 2, 3. Do-wah. Woo! Yay, that was fun. See you next week.